Welcome to Day Zero. Welcome to Day Zero. Today I'm joined with Ben Gaze, our head of partnerships at FOUNDIT. Ben, welcome.
Thanks, Angus, for having me on the podcast. I'm very excited to be here.
Mate, our relationship started like over 10 years ago now. I think nearly coming up to that now. And you're obviously in PropTech as well. You've dabbled both in PropTech and had a successful exit in there, also in the marina world as well. Give the listeners a little bit of your background of what businesses you've been involved in the past, I guess, to start us off.
Yeah, I guess, as you know, I worked in real estate a long time ago, and despite my youthful complexion, that was some time ago. So I really got to see how a real estate agency worked, but also it was multifaceted, where there was sort of holiday lettings, normal rentals up in the Palm Beach area, and then obviously the high ticket sales. But we were really well known back then for the off-market sort of space, and really off-market, showing maybe 2 or 3 people through ever in a property would be considered a lot back then. So I got to learn a lot about how that worked, and I always had an interest in technology. So was able to end up working in the technology space, in the marine space originally. Having grown up on the shores of Pittwater, I had a huge passion for boats, and family actually owned a few marinas. So I got to work on those as a kid, and saw there was a gap for the marine space and technology. So we launched a company called Yacht and Boat in 2007, and that catered for the marine industry, building marine tech, so websites, data sharing, and those sorts of things. And that was starting to become quite successful, and then thought, this could be okay for real estate as well, and ended up connecting with Ryan O'Grady, who was sort of getting into that space as well. And we launched Agent Point in 2015, 2016. And that was really about making real estate agents have the very best technology available for them, mainly in the website space, but then in not an exciting area of real estate, but data sharing, which was becoming very important across portals. And so we got heavily into that in the commercial space. And fast forwarding to sort of 2017, 18, when we met, we were the first in Australia to do digital proposals. And that was called Proposal Point, where an agent could very quickly log in from our system and build a beautiful digital proposal that was customizable, and then send that out and share that with potential vendors, multiple vendors, and then see when it was opened. And then when we met, be able to digitally sign an agreement as well. But it tapped into all of the CRMs and obviously CoreLogic as well, and pulled in all of that relevant data. So that was a big success for us. And then fortunately in 2021, we were able to exit that business. And it was a great sort of validation for a lot of hard work. And along the way, got to meet some amazing people like yourself, and in Redfern, where we were located, a lot of great PropTechs came and joined us as well, which was not planned, but we had an amazing time whilst it lasted.
And fast forwarding to today, you're coming into the FOUNDIT business, you're a shareholder and investor, and obviously working with us as well. Firstly, what made you interested in the space, and what did you see was the opportunity in it as well? Yeah,
I think, we talk a lot about the process not really having changed too much over the years. And I guess what was happening, in the 1990s, which was the old school of colour negatives being shot and placing things in the newspaper. We thought it was pretty expensive back then. And it was, but these days it's very expensive to even be online. And so it hasn't really changed in a long time. And so the buyer space for me is always fascinating. And I've fortunately got to sit through, hundreds, if not thousands of auctions back in the day as you waited for your own auctions to come along. Often there was 50 or 60 auctions on at LJ Hooker House back in the day. And so you'd see how the auctions would take place, and you would see people that are incredibly confident in their day-to-day world, or they've made a lot of money, or they're just confident people, be very worried and scared going to an auction. And so I think the more help that you can get And I know that there's buyers agents out there that are really passionate about helping people actually buy a property. That's what drives them, and it gives them enormous satisfaction. So knowing that that's the case, and it's always been agents that have been, very much in control of the sale process, to see buyers agents really coming into their own and assisting buyers of all different budgets is I think really what drives FOUNDIT as well, is finding the best buyers agents.
And it's interesting with some of the data that we've been able to find, like buyers agents being a part of 3% of transactions 2 years ago. Fast forward to this year, part of 8%, almost tripling. And I guess that's the kind of taking down the wall of thinking buyers agents are for wealthy people only. And you're starting to see more and more people turning to a buyers agent. And, from a fundamental perspective, why is the question we ask ourselves. And we think it's a lot to do with the fact that 20 years ago, in buying a house, it's worth a couple $100,000. Stakes weren't as high. Yeah, it was a huge decision. It was the largest financial decision in your life. But
absolutely,
now that property is worth multiple millions of dollars, and to have an advisor sitting alongside you to make sure you're making the right decision, or to even just distill down the information that's out there to give clarity and confidence in the market. Because exactly to your point before, the people we meet and come into interactions with, they could be CEOs of huge businesses, and they're very competent and very good at what they do in their day job. Yet when they go to buy a property, they're like a childlike version of themselves in some cases. And so it's about how do you help these people to give them the confidence and the clarity of the market as well. I think you and I have been fortunate to kind of been out and nationally talking to buyers agents and understanding the space really thoroughly. What are some of the key traits that you've seen of really good operators versus okay operators?
Yeah, some of the really good operators that we've come across are very strong with their relationships in the industry, in the sell side, and really being able to uncover off-market properties. But they're also very efficient with their time. And one of the things that the really good buyers agents do, yes, they find great off-market properties, but they can also transact very quickly. And so it's one thing to possibly save someone some money or bid for them at auction and hopefully try and get a discount on the price. But the best agents are the ones that, I guess, eliminate the competition and transact very quickly. They've got access to great solicitors, mortgage brokers, pest and building inspections. They get through properties where others maybe can't get inspections, and they seal the deal very quickly, and the sold sticker goes up, and it's a huge relief for the buyers. Normally, they're very, very stressed and they're not being sort of dragged along. They prefer not to go to auction if possible. That isn't always the case to do that, but they're very, very efficient with their time.
And on that, what do you often see as some of the things that hold back? And I think this sweet number that we've seen to have bumped into a few times with people is they get to 750, writing 750K in commission.
Yes.
Roughly 30, depending on what market they're in, but let's say it's between 30 to 40 deals a year. They're really good. They've built a really good business in terms of cash flow business, off reputation and doing the right thing and being in the right market. But what are some of the constraints you see of why they can't kind of crack past the 750 or crack past the $500,000 depending on the market?
Yeah, they've got their own particular skill set, and it's hard to, replicate themselves. So finding good people is difficult, and there isn't really the technology to help them scale. So there's a lot of patchwork tech that is out there, and that really doesn't assist them in scaling into other suburbs or into other areas that they want to grow. So technology is something that is lacking.
Yeah, I think we're really well positioned in that sense of we are been technology people for the last decade or more, and how we approach it is a tech-first approach of how do we help the buyers agents who choose to partner with us to scale and succeed their businesses, and in return we do as well. And whether it's technology that we're leveraging out of Europe because it's AI, or it might be something that we don't necessarily need to build ourselves because there's a business spending $200 million a year, versus proprietary tech that we're building as well within the platform to make sure that it doesn't exist as a gap in the market. Let's build it not only just for ourselves, but also for the rest of the market, so we can create a more efficient market and ecosystem out there. One of the positions that we're fortunate to be in is obviously raise venture capital, and we've got a few $1 million that we've been able to deploy to try and find the gap in the market, not only just for ourselves, so our buyers agents who choose to partner with us can be more efficient, can scale their businesses so both of us can win, but also offer the technology out to the rest of the market as well. Our concept are the same as the last business is solve problem for ourselves, which are fundamental problems,
yes,
and then release it to the rest of the market to help the market as well, to scale and succeed, to create a more efficient marketplace. Some of the tech that we're building, do you want to talk about the problem that exists that we've identified in the space?
Yeah, absolutely. So we see it as being very inefficient the way that it's currently working. It works up into, a certain period where how many mandates that a buyer's agent can have or how many a selling agent is looking after. But really the inefficiencies are there. It's very difficult with the amount of properties on the market for even the best buyer's agents to be across every agent and every off-market property or on-market property. So the inefficiencies that we see, Mondays, often buyer briefs are sent out en masse from a particular buyer's agent. It could be 20 to a particular real estate agency or office. And from there, they have to look at it and think, is this a new mandate? Has anyone in my office spoken to them already? They have to all get together as a group. There's obviously varying groups within each business. And it's very, very confusing for them. Fast forward to sort of a Thursday or a Friday when the agents are uploading their properties onto REA and Domain, they're going in reverse and sending it out to buyers agents saying, I've just listed this property. Have you got anything or any buyers that might sort of match that? So it's an incredible disconnect we see that our matching service and our technology will hopefully meet in the middle, and they can actually be inspecting properties on Wednesday or booking appointments for off-market properties rather than people not coming back to each other. They're mostly ignored.
I think what we've found a lot of is, what is our job at HQ to do versus the buyer's agents that partner with us is, our job is to be focused on how we remove non-dollar productive things out of their day so that they are just focusing on dollar generating activities in their marketplace, so they can help to have a more profitable, more balanced lifestyle, whatever it might be that they're chasing. But our session is to help them to scale and succeed. How do we help to get them leads? How do we help to create technology around them to make them faster, better, cheaper at what they're doing? And how do we help them to be able to be more proficient with access to some market leading research so that their clients by extension can know what's going on in that suburb, what's going on in that property, who are the people that are living there. So they've got a really good 360-degree view before they go into that first offer or first bid.
Absolutely. Well. And our research is already proving to be incredibly beneficial for our buyers agents. They're actually, from example documents, winning mandates off the back of what a buyer that comes on board with FOUNDIT will find once they find the property. That level of detail is incredible, and they're feeling very confident about signing on. So it is a real point of difference. As you mentioned, the marketing is critically important. A lot of buyers agents are reasonably good at marketing, but they'll take on a whole bunch of mandates and then kind of forget about the marketing over here because they're busy servicing their clients. What we're able to do is keep running that in the background. Of course, they're going through open for inspections, and they might have Google Meta glasses or their Ray-Bans on, and they're creating content. But what we're doing in the background is an incredibly detailed marketing plan for them, and we continue to help them do that. We're seeing some amazing results for our buyers agents with their reach and growth. And that's starting to generate some amazing leads as well.
Yeah, and we're fortunate, like in our business update that we do every week with the team, and like example, one of our buyers agents has gone from 40,000 average views a month to 120,000 views on their socials. And so like that's a great validation for us, is we're on the right path, we're doing the right things to help these guys to grow their businesses as well.
Absolutely, because that's one of our pillars, marketing. We're actually able to, when we're posting, know what worked and what didn't work, and actually understand why, and continue to build on that and build on the strengths for each buyer's agent. And we know that no market is the same and no buyer's agent is the same. So we take a individual approach. It's not a cookie cutter approach, and we work with them very closely to get the very best out of them.
For you, Ben, like you've been in a variety of different businesses, both technology and service-based businesses as well. What do you think defines and makes a good partnership?
So as far as a partnership, it's about transparency and trust, and also having the same sort of values, and the, going on the journey is really important as well. So already at FOUNDIT, the team is growing really beautifully, but everyone is so committed to the journey that we're all rowing in the same direction.
Yeah.
The power of that is absolutely incredible. And it honestly feels like 1 month of work at FOUNDIT is normally 6 months of normal work. It is so much being achieved. It is such a fast-moving business that is, the foundation of a great business. And you don't get to do that too many times in your career.
Yeah.
And it's a real privilege.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we all sat down as a team early on was like, okay, if we want to be a large business, actually need to decide and define what are the values we want to uphold in the business and the people that we want to bring on based on those values as well, which is funny. Like, I don't even know if we documented it in our last business. I don't know if you did either, but certainly this time, like talking through the values, deciding what they are, aligning on it as a team to then make sure that when we're actually bringing people on, do they fit the values? Our culture that we're building it's a high performance culture, but people are there to collaborate and help each other because collectively we all just want to win. And it's something we want to make sure we protect as we grow, that we keep this same culture of everyone's there to win collectively, not on an individual basis as well.
Yeah, I've worked in companies where there is a huge amount of hierarchy, and that doesn't really suit anyone very much. And business is very difficult for everyone. Whereas at FOUNDIT, as you said, we've got great sort of values, but I think we're really building a company that has amazing culture, and it's something that you've got to really jealously guard because it only takes sort of one bad hire to bring that all undone. And so far, everyone is collaborating really well. We've got a great sort of way that we bring new hires on board, and everyone in the team gets to meet them beforehand. So that's been the most pleasing aspect as well.
I think I'd be curious to hear what yours is in terms of what's your biggest learning that you've had in the business and the time that we've been going at it and kind of learning the space, building out the business, recruiting in some great people. I think for me, before you answer, I'll give you some time to think about it, is initially, I think how we were out in market, we're talking about the business it was more technology first at the forefront. And I think technology, yes, it's important, but I'd say you stacked ranked it, it's probably number 3. Actually, what's number 1 is brand and community, is what people want to come and be a part of.
You've answered my question.
Okay, great. Well, it's interesting, right? Like, I think as a technology-based people, and the way that, you kind of got that mindset is you have to shake it off, because actually what people are coming for is they want to be connected to something. They want to work within a team and environment where it can be a pretty lonely game as a salesperson or as a buyer's agent out in the market.
Yes.
You can be making great money, but do you have that connective environment? Are you bouncing off other people? Are you got people that you can call and say, got this situation, have you had this before? Because many hands makes the light work, right?
Absolutely. And 100%, it's about community, and it is a very lonely existence. If you're by yourself or you're a sort of high writing buyer's agent, you probably don't have too many people that are equal to you. You might have a few associates. So it can be quite lonely. Yes, they can be association members and the like, but for our recent offsite, to see the amount of collaboration that was going on and that people could bounce ideas off each other, whether it be technology or community, it was amazing to see. But we are definitely creating a community with FOUNDIT, and that's the most pleasing aspect.
100%. Well, Ben, we feel incredibly privileged to have you on board of the team as an investor, but also a foundational shareholder and employee of the business. And thanks for coming on the ride with us.
Thank you. I'm really loving it so far and looking forward to the future.